How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to your favorite aviation channel, and today we are here finally after almost 3 months with a new airport update for Karachi Jinnah International Airport. This is number 56, and today's update is set between 9 to 10 p.m. A fair bit of things have happened since the last update with regards to Karachi and news with some new airlines and stuff like that. And in this update as well, we have 3 new models. You can see actually all 3 of them in front of you right now, but we'll get to them when we get to them. It shouldn't be that long of an update. These usually don't go for that long. There are some changes, as you can probably tell clearly, that I will address momentarily. So with that being said, let's actually go ahead and get started with the update. Alright, so if you've been a somewhat long-time viewer of the channel, maybe like 2 to 3 years, you might first of all recognize the background noise, and secondly you might recognize the table back there. So this is actually the part of my little storage room in the basement that used to be, like, this is where my Illinois Gateway fictional airport used to be. I did a couple of updates on that airport before terminating the project completely. So long story short, this part of the room we were planning to convert into like a downstairs bathroom in the basement. That's a long-term project that's kind of put on the back burner right now. I don't think we'll be doing that for a while. So in the interim, I just shifted my Karachi airport here because in the past, for the past maybe two years or so since we moved into this house, whenever I wanted to do a Karachi update, I'd just, bring out the mat and set it up on the floor and do the update that way. And then when I'd finished doing the update, I'd pack up the mat and put it back in the room. So there was never really like a permanent place to put this. But temporarily, now that this room is kind of not being used right now, I just put it up on this table. The lighting is pretty good here, as you can see, much better than the previous updates. So that's another reason why I decided to put it here. The background noise does get a bit annoying. I know that's just something you're gonna have to deal with, but that's the setup right now. Because the tables are kind of small width wise, I couldn't do it the other way because then the door wouldn't be able to open. But I don't have space for the extra like ATR stand area that I used to put in, so it's just the main terminal area, and I guess that's kind of the most important part of the updates. That's what we're kind of working with right now. And I don't do many Karachi updates as it is, so it doesn't really make much of a difference, to be honest. But I think having the lighting be a bit better makes it a little bit more enjoyable. So that's what we're going to work with moving forward. So let's get started with the aircraft first. We'll start with the domestic side and then go to the international side. So the first aircraft here at gate 17 is the Air Blue Airbus A320. This one just came in from Islamabad as flight 201, just getting bags offloaded, and passengers are also deboarding the aircraft. Next up at gate number 15, we have the Fly Jinnah Airbus A320. I am aware that this is literally an Air Arabia plane, but my wisdom behind this is that Fly Jinnah is actually in part owned by Air Arabia, and I don't have a Fly Jinnah aircraft because they haven't made any models of it, and I don't feel like making the custom model at the moment. That's kind of a long-term project for me, so I'm just subbing this aircraft in for the time being. But yeah, just imagine that it's Fly Jinnah somehow. But this aircraft came in from Lahore as flight 847, just getting offloaded and deplaned as well. So naturally, not many people flying domestically at 10 p.m., so the domestic terminal was not super busy, obviously. Now moving across to the international terminal here at gate number 22. First new model of the update, Fly Dubai 737-800. This just came in from Dubai, obviously, as flight 329. Headed back out to Dubai in about an hour as flight 330, I believe that's what it would be. So yeah, didn't plan on buying this model initially, but Waffle Collectibles had it for like $32. That's a pretty good price, especially this day and age for a 1-400 737. Usually these things go for about $44. So picked it up for a rather decent price along with a couple other models. So yeah, 737-800 is by NG Models. I have the 737 MAX as well, and ironically enough, I think they're flying the MAX a lot more often into Karachi and Pakistan in general over the 738s. And I think they actually have more MAXs now. They have like 40 to 50 737 MAXs in their fleet, and then like 30 800s left, which is pretty bizarre. I didn't know that they got rid of a fair amount of 800s with the new MAXs, which I kind of should have seen coming. But anyway, Fly Dubai 738 to and from Dubai. Pretty self-explanatory there. Alright, so this one I'm pretty excited about. Here at gate 23 we have the Emirates 777-300ER in the new livery. This aircraft just came in from Dubai as Flight 602. We headed back out to Dubai in about an hour and a half as Flight 603. At the moment, I believe there's just two 777s in the new livery. This one, A6ENV, which ironically enough isn't even flying right now. It's in Istanbul right now for some maintenance, I believe. I don't know why they sent it to Istanbul for maintenance when they have a big facility in Dubai as it is. But this one's got the new livery, and I think A6EQH is the other one with the new livery as far as 777s go. And they have a fair amount of 380s now repainted, which is pretty cool as well. But yeah, this is the Emirates new livery. I ordered this back in September. The retailer that I bought it from took a while to ship it out, so it didn't come until like 2 weeks ago. So it's about 2 months I was waiting on this, along with another model. But yeah, I like the Emirates new livery. It's fresh. It's not much different than the previous one, but it's alright. I don't mind it. I like the tail design though, so you can see the waving colors, flag of the UAE. It's pretty cool. But yeah, Emirates new livery. This thing has come to Karachi before. It comes every so often. But right now, like I said, it's not flying at the moment. It's in Istanbul for maintenance at the old airport, Ataturk Airport. But yeah, there we go. It's getting serviced right now before it's returned to Dubai as Flight 603. Alright, so before moving on, here's another look at the Emirates new livery 777-300ER. This Gemini Jets mold, the updated one, is pretty nice. They share it with JC Wings. So it's not entirely new. It's been around for probably like a year or two now, but it's much better than the old one, that's for sure. So there we go. Moving on to the next aircraft, the Gate 24. Third new model of the update, Thai Airways 777-200ER just came in from Bangkok as Flight 341. Headed back in about an hour and a half, 2 hours as Flight 342. They've been flying the 222 to Karachi more often lately. Ironically enough, as I'm making this video, they just flew the 787-8 into Bangkok. In the past week, we got the 788, 789, and then 222. So it seems like for the winter, the 222 is going to be more common in Karachi. That's how it's been for the past month or so. So fall, winter, 777-200, it seems like. But it's kind of inconsistent. Thais, I don't know what they're sticking to. For Karachi, it seems like it's the 787-8 and the 777-200, which I have both models of now. I got this one actually just earlier this week because I noticed that they're flying this thing so often into Karachi, and Phoenix made two of these not too long ago, so I picked up one of them. This one is HSTJW, which came about 10 days ago last I checked into Karachi. So yeah, pretty cool. They have like 6 of these left in the fleet, 777-200ERs. I'm not too sure what the plan is to retire them. I believe they're going to hold on to those 6 ERs for a couple years longer and then get rid of them at some point. But at the moment, nice to have another Thai Airways. It's crazy. I had the one A330 a couple years back, and then I sold it earlier this year. And then this year also I added the 787-8 and the 222. So hopefully they don't fly the 350 here, because I do not want to spend another $50 just to pick up the 350. But knowing Thai Airways, that's probably going to happen at some point. But right now, 777-200ER for Thai Airways into Karachi. And then at Gate 25, we've got the Air China A330-200. This just came in from Islamabad as Flight 945, originating from Beijing, of course, and now it's it's getting serviced right now ahead of its 11:45 p.m. departure straight back to Beijing as Flight 946. So this flight was an A330-300 for some time, for at least a year or so, because when I went to Pakistan last year, it was a 330-300. But they've since, I think, since like late 2022 or earlier this year, they switched it back to the 200. So it's back to what it was originally. So that's what it is right now, A330-200 for Air China back out to Beijing. And last aircraft of the update, the actual meme itself, PIA Airbus A320 in the SkyTeam livery, which is funny because, I mean, this would actually be a fantasy livery for the sake of the update, but it's not a fantasy, it's actually a real life thing, which is the funniest thing possible. But yeah, PI is SkyTeam, quote unquote, SkyTeam livery, being tugged into Gate 27. And this aircraft came in from Islamabad earlier as Flight 309, just getting tugged into the gate ahead of an international departure out to Dammam, Saudi Arabia as Flight 241. So I've covered this before. The plane doesn't have the MEA logo anymore, obviously, because they leased it. It was a former MEA plane, Middle East Airlines plane based out in Lebanon. So they acquired it on dry lease. They removed the MEA logo, but they haven't painted it at the moment into PIA livery. If you guys remember the Interjet planes, the Interjet A320s that PIA got, those two finally 3 years after being acquired have been, or was it 3 years? Whatever, 2 to 3 years after being acquired have finally been repainted into the Euro white, which is so, it's about time they did that. So that leaves this plane as the only one. Actually, there is one more A320 from MEA they got. That's still wearing the MEA branding, like the livery. It doesn't have the MEA logo on it. It's just got the colors and stuff, APBO. I don't remember the registration, but it's still in the MEA stripes and whatever. So the SkyTeam livery, as far as I'm aware, APBON, that one is still wearing the SkyTeam livery, has yet to be repainted into the white, the PIA Euro white livery. But it's pretty cool. Once they do repaint it, I think I might have to say goodbye to this model, but that's also a when and if kind of scenario. But for now, enjoy the PIA SkyTeam. That's as close to SkyTeam as they'll get probably ever, in the near future at least. But that's going to go off to Saudi Arabia in about an hour or so. Alright, so that brings us to the end of the 56th update for Karachi. Before we end the video though, I wanted to go over some brief news topics regarding the airport, because there has been a new airline that's begun service to Karachi ever since I did the last update back in August. One really random thing that I'm actually kind of annoyed by is that YTO Cargo, of course they've been flying to Karachi for a while from Kunming, the Chinese cargo airline. I used to have the 757 for them, but I sold it because I didn't think I'd ever need it because I don't have space for the cargo area. You can't make this up. They've literally started parking that flight 757 right here at stand 28. I'll show you the Flight Radar 24 screenshot so you can see what I'm talking about. They parked that thing right here. Not even at the cargo facility. They park it at the terminal right here. I don't, like, it's actually so annoying. I can't say I could have predicted it, because why would you park a cargo plane at the passenger terminal, but they've been doing that for the past couple of months now, and I don't understand why they do that. But hopefully that means we're getting a lot more cargo planes in Karachi right now, and I believe we are, because there's a bunch of the 747-200s from Aerostan, and then a bunch of random cargo flights, whatever. But that's really bizarre they put YTO at the passenger terminal. But anyway, the new airline that I'm talking about right now is Batik Air. So they started flights from KL to Karachi, I believe late November, and that's the first non-stop service from Kuala Lumpur into Karachi since the pandemic, I believe, because PIA used to fly this route pre-pandemic, and then they cut that route, shifted it to Islamabad, and then up until 2014, Malaysia Airlines used to fly KL to Karachi on the A330, and then because of a specific incident in 2014, they cut service to Karachi along with Singapore and Cathay Pacific. So that was a big loss. All three airlines left in 2014, but we got KL back, at least not on Malaysia Airlines, unfortunately. I hope they come back soon. But Batik Air is a brand new carrier for Karachi. So November 18th is when they started, as you can see. So they only have, I think this is the only 738 they have. Oh no, two. They only have two 738s. And they've been flying these mostly into Karachi. They're still in Malindo livery, which is what it used to be before Malindo and Batik merged. Or Batik, I think, bought out Malindo. So they've been flying those two interchangeably. Or they flew in the MAX a few days, 10 days ago, twice. And then a couple of days ago they flew the 738 again. And it's scheduled as a 738 throughout the next couple weeks, or the next week, I should say. But yeah, Batik is here. I'm gonna try and get the new Max that NG Models released. It's the model that it's been delayed actually, so when it does get released I'll try to pick it up to add some sort of realism. And then speaking of 737 Maxes, here's a live look at Ethiopian flying into Karachi right now. That flight has been doing relatively well. They started back in March, right? Or September? No, May. A while back they started service, so they've been doing fairly well, surprisingly. I don't know why I thought this flight would last like 2 weeks, but it's been going for a good amount of time now, which I'm happy to see. So yeah, Batik Air is here. Hopefully by the next update you'll see that plane here. And then in terms of other news, I've been trying to I was trying to think of what it was. Oh yeah, well, it's not regarding Karachi, but Azerbaijan Airlines, they fly to Lahore and I think Islamabad now on the A319. They were supposed to start flights for Karachi. I don't know when they're going to do that. So allegedly they're supposed to come to Karachi at some point. But yeah, they're flying to Lahore and Islamabad now. Other news about Karachi, I don't believe I have any. I covered the 320 news. If If I missed anything, I usually tend to miss something. Somebody reminds me in the comments, but that's all I have for now, I think. PIA is being PIA, and then the other domestic airlines are somewhat doing well in a way, and that's it. So if I missed anything, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for the amount of support on the recent trip reports, recent videos. Really appreciate that. But until next time, take care, everybody. I will see you later, and goodbye.